I'm Spencer Sketches, and it takes me forever to make these videos because every time I go back and look at the footage on my phone, I get sad. MomoCon 2025, let's go. Like I say every year, which you should know if you watch my videos, go back and watch my MomoCon videos. We get there a little bit too early because we want to go ahead and get our badges before everything else, and by that time, nothing else is going on. I usually take this time to go see if I can find mutuals, people on the internet I really like to talk to, yada yada yada, since really no one's doing anything other than just waiting for the exhibition hall to open up, maybe waiting for a panel or two that opens up early. I personally didn't have any panels that day. Well, I did, but I'll tell you about what happens later. This year, none of my friends who didn't come with me came this year, so it was just me and this guy right next to me.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite part of the con so far?
We haven't even got in there yet.
You don't have to be rude.
I do. You got these stupid ass questions.
So be nice. Just trying to hype you up.
I'm not hyped. Look, no, don't get me. Get the fucking line. That's what you get.
Eventually, the exhibition hall opens up, so we go, hang out, and I pretty much beat his ass for the entire time in video games.
So what was the game? We should have recorded it. Say it out loud, Stanley. No point being a sore loser, Stanley. I'm not being a sore loser. You just had your phone on the thing. It passed. Well, whose fault is that? Yours. Now come on. Good game, Stanley. Alright.
Me personally, I love to move during MomoCon. If I don't have to stay in one place, I'm not going to. I'm going to explore and go out. But this year, we had to leave slightly early because we had to get our hotel. I live down here in ATL, so for the last couple years, I've been coming just from my house to the con and back and forth and back and forth. But for the last 2 years now, my friend who isn't in Georgia has been coming with us, and we get a little hotel so we can stay. We've been to a few crappy little hotels, so we decided this year we're gonna go all out. And we decided to stay at the Marriott Marquis, one of the hotels that MomoCon actually recommends to stay at during the con. This is probably the closest I'll ever get to being in a luxury spot by choice. I'm not paying for this again. This was so much money to drop. It was sort of worth it though. Yeah, it was worth it.
Imagine somebody killed themselves right here.
We get the hotel room and we chill for a couple hours wondering, do we really want to go back to the con since we have to leave out to get our friend from the Greyhound later on? There was only one panel I wanted to go to that night, and that was Pan's, what is it, 2000s? Gaming 2000s panel, which was but he was also premiering Loki IRL at MomoCon this year, and I really wanted to see if he was going to show a trailer or something, so I'm like, yeah, let's go. By the time we get through the Atlanta traffic, we're already 30 minutes late, and through most cons, after 30 minutes, it's pretty much over. Now it's a whole line for the questions and stuff. Didn't care about any questions. I just wanted to see the trailer. So I guess that was pretty much a bust. It was cool though. I got to talk to Pan, Just Stop, and Dumbsville afterwards. Of course, I knew Pan, and this is the first time I ever got to meet Just Stop. He came to the last couple of MomoCons, but I didn't get to see him. But this is the first time I ever talked to Dumbsville, and he's pretty cool. He liked my Invader Zim hat, and that was the last panel I wanted to see for that day. There was another one at 10 o'clock for like indie animation, but we had to be gone to go get our friend from the Greyhound. Me and my friend played games for like another hour, and then we left. Picked up our friend, and we decided to just stay at the hotel for the rest of the night. And that was day one. Second day, which is usually my favorite day because there's the most amount of panels attending, and there's a lot more stuff to do. No more having to wait in that long-ass line to get into the exhibition hall. Now it's just open to the public. It's always nice seeing the games and the cool stuff down there that I'm not gonna buy. That hotel pushed me back a lot. Oh my god. I've never been taxed so hard in my life. The extra fees from the hotel and also my friend not having enough money to come, so we had to help him. I had no more money to spend freely, so I said, screw it. Only thing I want to do this year is just go to panels, which the next one was the live drawing with Studio Trigger panel. I'm not that big of an anime guy, if it's not hard to tell. I don't hate it or anything like that. It's just I can't really get into too many of them. I do like it though. I'm loving Dan to Dan right now. The main reason I went to this panel was because A, I had nothing else better to do, and B, I know how big Studio Trigger and Studio Gainax are in the industry. I mainly just wanted to know if they could answer any questions about the new panty and stocking season coming out soon, which they answered a couple things, but NDAs exist in Japan too, so they couldn't say too much. Also, I didn't get too many recordings of this because they asked us not to record. I'm a whole OG out here, so I did it anyway, but very sparingly because I didn't want to get in any sort of trouble. Hey, if you're an artist online, whatever you do, please live stream it or something like that. I mean, if you don't want to, it's fine, but I love watching people draw. live. I watch it while I draw. It makes me feel better while I'm drawing. Pretty much free content while you make your content, you feel me? The next panel I wanted to go to isn't for a couple hours, so I go back to the exhibit hall where I look and find Shockwave Animation's little booth. Shockwave Animation, if it's not obvious by the name, is the animation studio that's worked on a couple of pretty big things that I think are notable, but are currently working on the comic turned indie cartoon, I Want to Eat Your Guts. They also work on this cartoon on their channel called Animation Station with Millie Martins. I love it and the idea of it. It's about this news reporter that like goes around and reviews indie cartoonists on the internet. They don't really upload too much. I think it's only been like one interview so far, and that's only the pilot. I can't wait to see more. I have no idea how it's gonna work out since like, even though there's a lot of indie cartoons out right now, animation takes forever, and it seems like these updates will take forever with the interviews and stuff like that. Whatever, I wish them the best, which is why I got this really nice bonnet from them out from their stand. Look at it, it's all nice. I don't really wear a bonnet too much. I really need to start. I look on the MomoCon app and I see that there's a Disney singing contest in the Omni-Grand Ballroom. I'm thinking, oh snap, it's like a karaoke thing. Maybe I can win a prize because I have a pretty good voice. I go down there and no, that's not how it worked at all. Everyone who came on stage was already prepared. They've been playing this for months now. Maybe I would have known about it if I actually paid attention to the MomoCon site. Even though I didn't get to sing or win a prize. Oh my god, these guys were phenomenal.
I'll think of all that might have been, waiting
This isn't my first time leaving the convention to go to something else convention related, but this is the first time I've been to the Omni-Grand Ballroom. It's so beautiful in there, and hearing their voices bounce back in my ears. Jesus, it was just so beautiful. After that was done, I tried my best to rush back into the convention center so I can go to this voice acting and animation panel, but then I remembered the one I went to last year, and I didn't really want another reality check. I met up with my friends again because we were separated pretty much the entirety of the con. A panel my friend really wanted to see, because he's a rapper, was Anime and Hip Hop, a conversation about intersection and influence. We saw the name Ashiru, which if y'all don't know, he's the guy who made the Boondocks intro. Seeing the name Anime and Hip Hop, I knew they were going to talk about Samurai Champloo. I haven't seen it yet, but someone who's worked on the Samurai Champloo soundtrack was Nujabes, someone who I am really inspired by through my beats, and I want to see if they were going to mention him. And what do you know, one of the guys up there was actually good friends with Nujabes. Also, he said that this is how Nujabes told him to say his name. I know everyone has a different pronunciation, but if you hear any sort of alliteration for his name, Nujabes, we all know who you're talking about. It was really cool knowing that like I and them have like similar come-ups. I mean, I'm not big or nothing like that, but it's all the same. We watched anime and stuff like that when we were kids. We were considered the weird ones in class, yet, you know, we had a gift of some sort. And now that we're older, we use that gift in our everyday lives, shit that most people can't do. And the overall point of the panel was showing that, you know, black kids, this is a community that they can get into and be safe in, and how it's okay to appreciate other culture without taking advantage of it. This little niche they have, these combinations and styles, aren't mainstream, attempted, but not yet, and they would like to keep it that way, to appreciate the art and what it stands for. I wasn't going to talk about this panel. It was building an animation team. I wasn't going to mention it because I didn't think anyone in the audience would care, but during this panel, we had to evacuate because if you didn't hear on the news, someone tried to kill themselves during this time of the panel. Not in the panel, but like at the same time the panel was happening. But as soon as they told me there was an emergency, I got my black ass up and went downstairs so I could avoid anything that would happen. But then I checked my next panel I wanted to go to, and it was in the exact same panel room. So I decided, okay, I'm just gonna go back up, wait outside and see what happens. But as soon as I got back up, they said that the problem was no longer a problem anymore. So I sat back down, enjoyed it, and waited for the Jake Neutron and Kid Sneeze panel on how to make an animated music video. Y'all don't know, I've been following Jake Neutron forever. I was following Jake Neutron back on Vine, back when he would just do nothing but make Steven Universe edits and shit posts.
Never played before, gorgeous. No problem, it's simple.
He would also post a bunch of whips on there that I assume to this day have never been released. I was there. I hadn't realized though how big Jake has gotten with all the nerdcore music him and Kitten Sneeze put out. I thought this was going to be an educational panel, which was the intention, but so many people came who were just big fans of them in general and screamed and made jokes every single time they said something. They showed sketches and animatics of their new music videos that they're making, while also giving us insight on how the process works. Unfortunately, because the last panel had to be evacuated, they had to give them a little bit more extra time to finish their panel, and because of that, this panel ran a little bit early. We were all having fun, but unfortunately, we didn't even get to get halfway through the panel. Usually, there's a good amount of time to ask questions and stuff like that, but they were showing us everything by the time we had to get out for the next panel. I, at this point in time, work on a couple of indie shows on YouTube. I wanted to see if there's any sort of difference in the workflow. And outside of like story beats, not really. After that panel was over, I tried to chill out for like an hour. I don't eat food at the con because the price, the amount you have to pay there is insane. Oh my god, it's crazy. So I don't buy anything, so I'm incredibly tired by the time I get to my next panel, which is not really a panel, it's sort of like a concert. It's called From Adult Swim to Lo-Fi. What does that mean? Really? Nothing. Nothing really. It was just the guys from the anime and hip hop panel having their concert at the Omni Grand Ballroom. Like, other than Asheru, I don't know any of these people. They weren't bad though. I had a fun time at the concert. But personally for me, it's hard for me to get turned to songs I don't know. I had a fun time though. These guys definitely aren't bad at all. They're pretty good. It ran a lot longer than I thought it was though. After like 2 hours, I'm like, okay, I gotta go. Because Robotaxi's 2000s and Anime Panel 2 was at 11 o'clock. I really want to see more of this pilot, yo. Not gonna lie, this panel was definitely a nothing burger. It's at 11 o'clock p.m., which is surprising. I didn't even think we were allowed to have panels this late. I'm tired as hell by the time I get in there. But it was better than being in that concert hall. The music was blaring in my ears, and I'm just standing up listening to music I don't know. This is a nice refresher. The panel was supposed to be like them answering questions of what they liked about certain things from the 2000s, which they always do. But it also spiraled into this nothing nonsense. I didn't mind it. After the panel was over, I realized that's Shek. Dude, that's What the Shek. What the Shek was doing the panel computer stuff for them. Oh shit. Dude, Shek hasn't uploaded in a while, and I've honestly missed his stuff. I didn't think he was going to be here. He didn't announce anything, as far as I know. So after the panel was over, I said, what's up? I asked him a couple questions and all that. I asked him, like, is there a reason why he wasn't uploading? And of course, if you don't care to tell me, that's fine. And he gave me a reason, but I'm not sure if what he said he wants out in the public, so I'm just going to keep that to ourselves. And then I got this picture with him. Hey, do you want to know what's crazy? After we walked away, I posted that picture on Twitter saying how I met an OG, and while I was waiting in the line to see Pan and the rest of them, he actually reposted that picture. I don't follow Shek, and he doesn't follow me. I have no idea how he found that post so quick. Granted, we follow a lot of similar people, so I guess it came up in his feed, but damn, that creeped me out when I saw it. I already saw Pan, so I wasn't like too heavy on meeting him again. I wanted to see Mango, because Mango didn't come to the first panel. If y'all didn't know, I did a mural for Pan a long time ago, and he turned it into one of his bumpers for his channel. I did that in a tunnel in Atlanta. Legally. I did that legally. You're allowed to spray paint there. And every so often, I see reposts of it, whether Pan reposts it or I just see it on my feed. Every time I saw it, though, it was because I would see Mango under it crediting me as the artist. So I just wanted to go to him and say how much I appreciate him doing all that for me. After that, I meet up with my friends outside. There's plenty of other panels we could have went to, and the gaming hall is always open. But I'm tired as hell, so we go back to the hotel. Third day! I didn't do too much today. We woke up pretty late, and my friends wanted to have fun with the hotel extremities, so we got there around like 1 o'clock. When we first got there, my friends wanted to go to the Making Music for Film, TV, Anime, and Video Games panel hosted by the same... Nope, nope, you guys are good. I'm not going to see them again. The only thing else that I was interested in was the Star vs. the Force of Evil panel with Darren Nefsey there. I didn't finish Star vs. Evil, and everyone said it was incredibly disappointing. I feel like if I were to go, I'd be incredibly out the loop. I was hanging out in the exhibit hall for a couple hours. I had just got paid that night, so I'm like, you know what? I'll take out some of my savings and buy some cool shit. I got the sweet ass Moon Girl poster by Asia Simone, an artist who's actually worked on the official comic or novel, whatever, for the show, alongside a bunch of other things. Moon Girl should still be running right now. and it's all your fault. I did my part. I dick around some more, and I look at my phone, and I see, oh, there's a SpongeBob trivia panel. Oh, like last year. Sure, I'll go. I was looking for trivia and Jeopardy type panels this year. There was barely any, especially compared to last year and the year before. That was really disappointing, but I had a fun time here. I got a SpongeBob sticker for answering something right. It's about to be 4 o'clock. Now, this is where all the cool shit starts happening. I'll go back to the Omnigram Ballroom for the 3rd time, and I go see Jake Neutron and Kitten Sneeze's concert. Neutron Nexus 2, hosted by Connie.
Then I asked him, aren't we in lucky show today? Up first on our track list is Good. A theme song that involves Jake Neutron and Kitten Sneeze, based on the second Inside Out movie from Disney's Pixar. Focuses on the main story arc of anxiety and other new emotions that have joined the party. Fun fact, there is a sample of a fart snuck into the base of the song. Why did they write that in the database?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that into nerdcore, and I definitely felt kind of immature being in this type of concert. But I can't say this wasn't good music. This was nice, and I had a lot of fun being here. I got there pretty late, and I actually sat next to Daft Pina. I said hi to be nice, and he was pretty animated. I felt bad because I didn't really want to talk. I just wanted to wait for the concert to start. He had to help record though, so he had to move after a minute. Was there for the good majority of the concert. It was really cool. I never been to such an interactive concert before, but I had to leave a little bit early because the main reason why I came to MomoCon was just 10 minutes away. Whew. Pan premiered pretty much the entirety of Loki IRL. Other than him posting whips on his art account and the scene he previewed in 2023, this was the first time Loki IRL was publicly shown. I said this already in my MomoCon 2023 video. I'm a pretty big fan of the Loki IRL comic. I know it's not that good. There's definitely things, there's definitely ways it could improve, but I read that comic when I was around 14, 15 years old, going into high school, and the main character, Bianca, was a 14-year-old trying her best to get a cartoon as well, and that was literally my main goal when I was the same age. Alongside the amazing colors and honestly humor that if you don't watch Pan or you're just not big into the animation process, you wouldn't get. This shit connected with me so deeply. I'll be a big fan of this if it was Pan making it or not. That's why I've been following it for this long. And now seeing it, it wasn't finished, but seeing it in its entirety, I don't know how to describe it. It was just this big coming together moment for me. Pan said it should be out in June, and I'm recording this video on June 11th. So I'm not sure if the episode will be out by the time this video comes out. Just know, I was there before any of y'all. I got bragging rights! After that panel, I was pretty satisfied with the rest of the day, I'm not gonna lie. I went on the app and I saw there was 2 things I was interested in. Behind the scenes of Delicious in Dungeon with the Trigger animators, and something called Indigo Park, which Jake Neutron worked on. I have not seen Delicious in Dungeon. It looks pretty cool, but I don't know anything about it. And I haven't seen Indigo Park, but I thought it had something to do with production. It was Western, and I knew who Jake Neutron was, so I went to that one. Not gonna lie, if I had a chance to go back, I would choose the Delicious in Dungeons one, because Indigo Park is a video game, from their words, inspired by the crappy remakes of Five Nights at Freddy's games. Not gonna lie, it was cool seeing how they do some of their stuff and all the inside work that they do. I don't know shit about game development though, and I really don't care. I would have preferred learning about anime, the anime pipeline at the Trigger panel. But oh well, that panel ended around 9 o'clock, and I wanted to go to this panel afterwards called Horrifying Lore Implications in Splatoon, and then maybe I could sneak into the MomoCon rave. But guess what? My friend got sick from going into the pool and was begging to go back to the hotel. So I'm like, fine, I got what I want for today. Let's go back. And that was my day 3. Day 4. Alright, day 4 is usually the hardest day for me to get up because I know as soon as I wake up, I'm fully aware that in a couple hours, I won't be back in this convention hall unless it's for another convention, but specifically for MomoCon in a whole year. We get there around 11 something, and the first panel we go to is the 20 years of MomoCon panel, where the people who started MomoCon 20 years ago talk about their history and what they plan on doing in the future. It was pretty boring, I'm not gonna lie. We went in there just so there was something we could do, but I don't regret it. I learned a lot of things. The next panel I want to go to isn't for a couple more hours, so I say, you know what? This is the time I get to see the people who I haven't gotten to see yet. So I go down the stairs to the exhibition hall and hope to find someone special. There was none. I mean, I did go down and see Jake Neutron's little booth. I got this little Steamboat Willie sticker pack for what I think he has some plans for that soon. And thank God, I see the Mystery Shack. I couldn't find it the first 3 days, and I looked. I was so scared they didn't come this year, but they did. This is probably the best booth they ever had. I got this Blitz U2s from there. I plan on going to Hot Topic in a couple days and getting a Moxie one, so both Brandon Rogers and Richard Horvitz can sign it when they come down to ATL Comic-Con. And I was gonna risk it all and spend all my money on this Bee and Puppy Cat vinyl. Oh my God, I wanted this so bad. But I had to have self-restraint, and I put it back. I bought some candy, but at that point, I had no more money, so I just watched the Smash tournament for a couple minutes. I run into Daft Pina again, and I asked him, does he recommend any panels upcoming? And he's like, yeah, dude, come to ours. We have a panel about awful 80s and 90s superhero cartoons. And I'm like, yeah, sure, that's better than doing nothing. It was a cool panel, pretty chill. Not gonna lie, this is probably the nicest panel this year compared to last year, with informationals about past animation. I love stuff like that, and that's why I come down here, but they didn't have it that much this year. That's the rest of the panels for this year. I'll walk around the entirety of the convention center, seeing if there's anything I can do or someone I can meet. I run into Dumpsville again, and he dapped me up, which was nice, but that was pretty much it. My friend was so stick as a dog, and he couldn't move, so we packed it up, and that was my MomoCon 2025. Not gonna hold you. This was probably the worst MomoCon I've been to. Aww. And I've been coming since 2017. Since then, every year, there's always been a good amount of celebrities to meet, activities to do, amazing things to watch and be part of. And I feel like this year was the most lacking of all of them, which sucks because this is its 20th year anniversary. Even they've had it plastered everywhere. You would assume since it's a special year, they make this year extra special, but I guess stuff happened. ATL Comic-Con, surprisingly, is usually in February, but this year it's in July. I'm assuming they booked everyone else before MomoCon could. I had a lot to do this year, definitely, but compared to every other year, I felt like I had to find a lot more stuff to do, other than last year when everything was just there. I had too much to do the last couple of years. But even though I complain, I still had an amazing time. I'm never not coming to MomoCon. Even if they don't have any of the shit I like, it's just coming down here and interacting with people who I love. I love to watch on YouTube, who I aspire to be like through entertainment. And people who are just like me, seeing people who like what I like, be interested in what I'm interested to. It's great talking to people about stuff that I can't, even with my best of friends. I feel so safe and welcomed here, and I don't really get to feel that a lot. Even though there wasn't a lot to see, there was still things here that I wouldn't miss for the world, and that's gonna keep happening. So cheers to next year. Not gonna lie though, this is probably gonna be my last MomoCon vlog. I like to think of myself as the cartoon community news guy. I go down to MomoCon and talk about the cartoon community on YouTube, because this is really where almost everyone who's in it comes down to say what's up and hang out. But shit doesn't really happen too much anymore. A lot of them don't come anymore, and it's also a kind of a pain in the ass recording all this stuff. As you can see in a lot of the footage here, I don't have a lot of footage, and a lot of the footage I have is B-roll of people walking around in the convention center, which I've been told is creepy to record the back of people's heads. So unless something really cool happens next year, I don't think I'm gonna do this again, and I'm just gonna enjoy the con in the moment. Granted, at the 20 years of MomoCon panel I went to, they did say next year, instead of it just being in the B hall, it'll be both in the B hall and the A hall, which it'll make the convention so much more bigger. So if they got cool shit planned, maybe I will. We'll see. Okay, that's it. See you next MomoCon if I'm famous enough. Bye-bye. Mwah.